Okay, guys. Again, welcome everyone to another week of or weekly seminar, better say, of Elliott Wave Forecast. And okay, and nothing really had changed in the market overall. We did all the weekly update. We did the weekly update yesterday or between Friday and Saturday, and out of the 20 something instruments that we cover, only one has only one technically mathematical, when we run the math, is calling otherwise. It's no, and I want to be clear from the get going, we're still bullish risk, right? In the daily charge or in the weekly charge. But nothing really had changed. Sometimes in trading, you need more data, but we're going to tell you something from the get going. Do not buy risk yet in any chance. Don't buy it. Be smart about it. Like I say, don't be a hero. All right? Now, the chart that you guys see in there, that's the S&P 500. The S&P 500 has no invalidate discount right here. ABCWS, ABCY. Neither the DAX, the UK, the EBEX. Technically, what I'm trying to say is that the S&P 500 still looks like it's correcting the cycle from June 4 right here. Like we always been, we always have thought that that's why. Remember, and I repeat it, same here, we've been telling you guys to sell the S&P looking for 1370. Now we reached 1370. If we open the target to 1343, we reach 1343. It's kind of bouncing. Now the bounce has not made any damage yet. So it's very hard for us to draw a conclusion if it's going to go to 1266 or it's going to go higher from here. All right? The bounce that it did on Friday mathematically didn't create damage to the bells. So technically you have a bell market. Some clients have come to us. Some clients have come to us saying that the decline is strong. You want to see a strongest one? Look at this one. And a stronger one. This was stronger than this one. So don't look at that. Mathematically, the S&P has not yet invalidated this low. Right? Now, that it can go and do the flat, absolutely. We don't have proof yet that that's what's going to take place. Right? In other words, A, B, C, W, A, B, and the flat here running higher. Maybe tomorrow you guys going to get the news for us, say that decide that the S&P is going to go to 1266. That's maybe tomorrow, not today. All right? Now, that's about the S&P. In our view, it's either this one or it's either the alternative that we're showing also, which is this one. All right? That scenario. Now, I want to mention to you guys that the S&P in the dailies, it found support in the RSI trend line right there. Look. The way that should be. In a double zigzag. this right here always gonna find support in this trend line in the RSI. Forget about the market, guys. Trend lines in the market do not work. We don't use the market. We've been saying to you guys that we don't use the market as proceed. We only use the market to find price, nothing else. So, like I say, nothing had changed in the S&P. That we want to buy? Absolutely no. Absolutely no. That you need to buy it? No. That you need to sell it? You need to sell it. You got to take the S&P and you're going to say and identify way structures. I keep selling it until we say otherwise. Now, that's the S&P. What happened is that if you take a look at these two together, is the S&P together with the Dow Jones is the same chart. But the Dow Jones in the highest time frame mathematically invalidate the count that we're showing here as a principle in the S&P. In other words, the Dow Jones invalidate this continuation here. The Dow Jones invalidate this most bullish scenario mathematically. So it's the only one that have done it. Enough for you to be aware, enough for you not to buy risk, and enough for you to be alert and keep selling it. All right? So the message that I want to say, to you guys is don't buy risk. I know that if you take a look at the daily trend, like we explained several times, and guys, look, the side is working properly. Look, it's there. And if I log in, everything is there also. I know that some members are having some issues. I think that you guys should refresh memory. Look, everything is there. I know that in the trend report, some of the targets has been reached already. For example, if you take a look at the if we take a look at the Dow Jones, our target was 1118. No, the S&P, because our day the Dow Jones, the S&P was 1370. It was reached. But now that doesn't mean that you need to buy it. So getting back to the down here, if the down's gonna go in a flat that I can go to any of these areas right here, I can bet you that the S&P is gonna follow the same with NASDAQ, the same with the UK, and every one of them. So keep selling risk, guys. It's as simple as that's the simple that I can tell you guys. Keep selling risk. You got no reason to buy it. And the good thing about what we have done mathematically with this math system, that we almost have it. I mean, we are days away to have it done by the computer program, is that we always in the right side of the market. Because when we were at 1440 in the S&P, we say sell looking for 1370. Now, when we got to 1370, we don't see a trend change. Guess what? We've been telling you guys, keep selling, keep selling, keep selling. And that's the way it is, guys. That's how far we have gone with Elliott Wave forecast. That's why we run out of service and out of bandwidth sometimes. Is because we have created something unique, something that always keep you guys in the right side of the market. All right. So if the Dow Jones is going to do this scenario, which is, what is the down here? If the Dow Jones is going to do this scenario, which is going to take the Dow Jones to around 1155, believe me, the S&P is going to follow lowers. And that's most likely what is taking place. All right? So, but you got to take it step by step, and you got to keep the trend report, and you got to keep selling it until we say don't sell it no more, it's a buy. All right? So bearish indices, keep selling the indices until we say and we change the 1 hour trend in the trend report. You got to keep it like that. You cannot be a hero. You cannot buy indices. All right? Now, that's the indices. Looking at the overall indices right here, this is the DAX. Our target is 6066. Let's see if we reach there. All right? So more downside in the risk is what we see for this coming week. Now, the same, it can be said about every one of them. And then you're going to see how the S&P 500 is the one that is deeper. So that's what I say. The flag can be in place, and the S&P can do this. Before going higher. And that's going to allow this to go here. Doesn't matter. It's about being in the right side of the market, which is selling risk. We've been telling you guys over the last, I don't know how many weeks, sell risk, sell risk. We haven't said buy yet because it's a bear market in the 4 hour, and in the 4 hour is a sell. The weekly is a buy. The daily is a buy. But the 1 hour, the 4 hour is a sell. So keep selling it until prove you're wrong. Forget about the inside counts. That's what we call the dents. And the DAX can be doing a simple AVZ. S&P can be doing a flat. At the end is the same result. Right? Which is lower. And that's what we want you guys to understand when it comes to trading. Now, the dollar reached our minimum target of 81.35. We told you guys that target when we were over here. Right? It reached it. Now, the dollar did reach it. But the euro hasn't reached the 50 back, which is 126.01. Consequently, that makes me to believe that we're going to keep seeing it, some sort of euro index and dollar strength sometime this coming week. Now, I want to mention the idea that now the next target is the 82 area. the 81.99 area. And there is something very interesting here, because if you take this pair, this is the euro dollar on the 4-hour chart. What happened? The euro dollar, this is a cycle. That cycle ended right here. This is a cycle that happens to be in 7 ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or a diagonal, whatever you wanna call it. Now that cycle ended. Now, if you put the euro yen on top of that cycle, you can come out with a very well correlation there, right? A correlation which is almost 100%. If you look there. Now, what happened? From here, the same date, which is November 12th, from there, if you look at it, the euro dollar has rallied not much, 140 pips. But the yen, the euro yen rallied strong. Now, the euro yen still can do this right here. What's going to happen after is that it needs to correct after finish all 5 ways. It's the same technique that we use over here when we knew that the euro yen was ending 5 ways, and we say you gotta keep selling right here because it's gonna take the euro dollar lower. All right. Now, if this happened, most likely the euro dollar is gonna do this, and then the euro dollar is gonna have the count that we're following, which is A, B, C, W, S, A, B, and C, Y to around the 125.60 area, 126 area. Now, if the euro yen, we have mathematical confirmation that this move is real. So I'm assuming the euro yen to do this. And that's going to make the euro dollar also to bounce. So our preferred path is that looking at this, what's going to happen is that if I add the dollar to this equation here that I'm showing you guys, something happened that many people don't notice it, but something happened last week that doesn't happen very often. Because cable, it was very weak, because the dollar yen was rallying in favor of cable. That makes that the euro dollar have or choose to follow a different path than the euro and that the Swiss, in other words, the dollar index, right? If we added then all three together here, we can say and we can see that the dollar have maintained the diagonal, but the euro broke it. So we know by the euro yen that some sort of weakness in the euro should happen sometimes next week. Now, if we put these two together now, you see the difference. The euro broke out of the diagonal, but the dollar did not, right? So I won't be surprised. I mean, they're choosing a different path. Now, right here, it gives you with two scenarios. Downloading a little bit the chart. You see, the euro broke outside of the diagonal. The US dollar keep it. You see, it keep the diagonal. The euro dollar makes, the dollar here makes a new high about this high on Friday. This is the dollar. The euro did not. When that happened, so many times can be some sort of flat. So it makes me to believe that because the euro yen is showing you a weakness in the euro coming in, you got two ways to see around. If the euro yen, which from here is is over here in the wave 4. If the euro yen from here is gonna make a fifth wave, the euro then should rally to our target in 1 hour, which is 128.98. And from there, should drop. And it should drop when the euro yen makes his three-way pullback. Now, what about the dollar? The dollar can be doing a flat and decline, because this is the day. I want you guys to understand. This is the day when they break the correlation. Not break it, but they break the structural correlation that we call it. So one way is a flat when this is going to happen. Another way is that the dollar is going to continue in the diagonal, and then the dollar is going to do this and rally back again to the upper side of the diagonal right here. And then that's going to make that the dollar from here, the euro, that was the B wave top or the S wave top, and then that the euro is going to do this tonight to the downside. Everybody saw that one, right? Everybody understood that. It's one or the other, but I believe with a higher degree that more euro weakness should come to the market very soon. All right? Everybody understood what I say at there. That looking at the euro yen, the dollar, and the euro, I believe that some sort of weakness is gonna come to the downside. Mathematical, only the 1 hour is the 1 hour in our system. It has a target of 28.98 to be exact. Now, not necessarily needs to reach that, but looking at the euro yen, if the euro yen is going to make the fifth wave, most likely the euro dollar is going to rally into the fifth wave also. Now, the more aggressive scenario, it means that the euro yen is a cheater and it's going to keep going higher without that much of bigger correction. And then the dollar is going to do this, and the euro is going to go lower from here. So I don't feel comfortable at this stage buying the euro because the 4 hour trend is to the downside. I would rather keep selling the rally before become a buyer in the euro dollar at this stage. Now, another one that is very interesting about this correlation games that we played is the IBEX from Spain. Very well correlated with the dollar and the euro, as you guys see there. The IBEX also in it more downside. It can go, it can do it in different ways, like this, like it's some sort of diagonal, or the IBEX also can do this. It's the same scenario, going a little bit higher against right here, and then from there, another three-way swing to the downside to complete the cycle. So I'm getting the same message in the dollar. I know it looks, the way structure can look topping, but guess what? Don't look at the way structure, look at the fact. And the fact is that there is nothing that says that the dollar has topped. Otherwise, it gives you more outside. So don't sell the dollar until we say you guys do it. If the euro gets to 128.98, and depending on how it gets there, can be a very good short looking for 126. Don't sell the dollar. Don't buy risk. Keep selling it until we say otherwise. Like you guys, many of you guys know already, we are based in a mathematical system. We don't go only with Elliott Wave. Our system is still bearish risk. And in the case of the Dow Jones, it became more bearish last week. But remember, S&P and Dow Jones, they are no correlation with the dollar. Sometimes they correlate, sometimes they don't. I can show you many examples when the Dow Jones was higher and the dollar was higher also. And I can show you otherwise. That's a misbelief of the market. All right? So overall, that's what we see in the dollar and risk in general. And nothing. We gotta let you guys know that. I mean, technically, there was no big change on the day, on the daily and the weekly update, other than that the new count or a possibility that we open it when the Dow Jones right here, as you guys see, can stand lower. And I want you guys to understand that. Look, I just add there the ad of the US dollar. And I want you guys to look at it, and I covered this several times in the past, when the correlation is following an 11.5-year cycle. When they are direct for 11.5 years, they are indirect for another 11.5 years. So look right here, the dollar to the outside, the indices to the outside. Doesn't mean. Look right here, the indices to the outside, and look at the look from here how they were together there. People misbelieve that one thing implied the other. That one thing implied the other, and it's not like that. The correlation is in and out. It's been working 100%. It's been working 100% since July the 24th. But doesn't mean that it's gonna be working like that forever, right? So that's what I wanna say you. Another thing that I wanna show you guys is Cooper. Another one that I want to show you guys is Cooper, which it have not yet changed the trend. It keep calling lower, and Cooper can be steered into a way forward with another round of selling coming. And you guys know how important. And also, I mentioned yesterday that Cooper in the daily chart can also be doing a big flat thing here. 3 and some sort of A, B, and the C. Let's see. Otherwise, it's a flat from here. So technically, it's the same message all over. Keep selling risk onto keep selling risk unto prove you otherwise. Okay? Now, that's all I have to say. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you guys so you guys can start asking questions, and I'm going to go over the most popular pairs, to give you my insight. All right? Let's move on. Another one before I switch Isino is the 10-year note. Look. 10-year notes, they're getting close to our corrected target of 150. If you look at the RSI, it is very weak right there. And this has an indirect correlation with the dollar. So technically, if this goes down, I mean, should be inverse. I mean, you see how saying here is going down, the dollar going higher. So from the lows you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 1, 2, 3. 3 backs is bullish in the 4 hour. Sorry, it's bullish on the daily, looking for around this area for when should turn lowers at least. So I want you guys to understand that also. All right. Everything is showing the same path, guys, that this is a correction. Nothing had changed. I mean, that the count that we can be presenting can change here and there. That's part of trading. But we've been on the money when it comes to the trend. And that's all you guys should matter. You guys should keep selling. You guys should keep selling. You guys should keep selling risk. All right? Until we say otherwise. I mean, I don't know if you guys see it. That's very clear there. Everything is pointing to the same result as of right now. Now, look, the EBEX also right here, it has to reach, like I say, his target, which is right here. Now, maybe the EBEX is going to do, like I say, the ABCW, ABCY. That's one possibility. The other one is the diagonal also to the downside. So, like I say, everything is very clear. No reason to buy risk yet. And better to be either selling risk or or being on the side if you don't want to buy risk, sell risk at this stage. Now, let me move on a little bit to some Forex charts. We are expecting more risk off because nothing has said that the market is going to bounce. At this today, nothing has said that it did already. Sometimes you guys need to understand that data sometimes is needed. And all I'm saying that you got to keep saying, selling it until proof that it won't be down anymore. Right? That's all I can say. I'm going to show you now the euro. Okay, this is the euro dollar in the 1 hour. This is our preferred scenario. Based in the euro yen making a fifth way to the upside. I mean, the target right here is the 21 area from where it should go lower. This cycle ended, and the tentative scenario in the euro is that this bid is here already, and then it's going to do this. You see? But at the end, we believe that it's not done yet. The euro in the 4 hour, we keep being bullish, and we are looking something like this to move lower to either one of these targets before when it should keep going higher. So keep that in mind. And if it gets to 129 and we haven't changed the 4 hour trend, you got to sell it there, looking for 126. Now about the majors, let me go over the Euro group. About the Euro group, this is the Euro Aussie. This is the best long Euro that we can have. So should look good, and the buy around this area looking higher. Now, the Euro pound, it reached our corrected target here, and we gotta be careful. I see 5 waves coming out of the top here, and we're expecting downside. That's what I think, that we should see some euro strength later on today, because look at the euro pound there. It makes a clear cut 5 waves from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we should see some recovery in this pair, meaning that most likely the euro also is going to be strong. Right? Now, we need to see when he trade lowered into the seaway here, how strong it is, because it can make a double in the 4 hour, even though our target was a sheet. He can do this. and go to the next extension to the downside. But trying the buy at the 3 backs around this area, if we haven't changed the trend, it can be a good buy. Now, a comment about for the Elliott old school W is the second 4-way. Don't understand your question, your comment, Francesco. Can you elaborate and mention something else? And Francesco? Euro Aussie, Carlos, you explain it. We are bullish that pair with the target, believe it or not, with the target very high, 163 on the weekly chart. All right. Now, about the metals, what belong to risk? Everything belong to risk that is not selling. If you sell the US dollar, you buy in risk. If you buy in the indices, you buy in risk. If you buy in gold, you buy in risk. If you buy in silver, you buy in risk. All right. Now, let's move on a little bit about the metals now. We're going to start with the New Zealand dollar. The New Zealand dollar, it can be the down, but I doubt it because I'm reading that it should be more risk. Until right now, it can do also a double trip right here and provide more downside. Now, why do I base that? I base that in this. Look at the Aussie yen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 swing. It's telling me also that should be some sort of pullback, which is telling me that the Aussie yen should be, the Aussie yen should trade lower pretty soon. Knowing that, you go to the Aussie dollar. I believe that the Aussie dollar did ABC, 3 backs, and we are in some sort of flat B way here with another rally to the downside. Nothing, guys, nothing has a buy risk. Nothing. Not yet. We got to keep setting the bounds until prove you wrong. So I like in every pair continuation to the downside. Now cable is getting close to our target. It hasn't reached it, but I want you guys to understand. I want you guys to understand that also can do a connector and another extension to the downside. This one was corrected in 3 ways. This looks like it's the first cycle. In other words, that we should be finishing now W, this W, and we can be entering the X before we finish the X with no parenthesis. In other words, remember, the target is ideally 120, 157.84, but it can keep going lower to around 156.72 without no issue. All right, so please do not buy anything yet. Right? And then that's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here when a 6 and a 7 swing to come. All right. I see the same every count. I see that maybe what we ended this week is the fixed swing in risk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same with the dollar. Same with the euro. And we're going to get a 6 and a 7 before everything is said and done. That's our preferred forecast in the market. And that's going to allow pairs or indices like the S&P to finish the flat to the downside. Send me the charge in the Skype, Francesco. Now, I got some question about gold. Yeah, the one that you're talking there. Gold. Look, and adjusted looking at the over. Gold, it did 5 weeks here. No doubt about it. It looks like. Now, still is a bullish in the 1 hour. Still is bullish in 1 hour. And from here, I can see a 3-way cycle, a connector, and another cycle here. So maybe gold is going to trade higher today and also at the earlier week declining another 3 weeks. At this stage, I recommend 1687. More data. I recommend wait for more data before becoming, I don't feel comfortable, to be honest with you guys, buying any sort of risk. I don't, and I don't recommend it. I would like to buy into, sell into, or buy in the case of the dollar, into the 7 swing. Now, that's what we like right there. About silver, is about the same as gold. And it can get compressed also. We're pushing the nest, but remember there is a W and there is an X right here. And there is an overall market. And the overall market is telling you right now that this is possible. If you take a look at silver in the 4 hour, yes, it reached our target. Don't deny that. It bounced from our target of 30.75. Now, this can get complex. Same we go. So, I repeat the same things. I do not recommend any buying or risk at all. In nothing, you should be buying risk at this stage. All right? All right? So, I do not recommend buying risk at any instrument yet. I recommend keep selling it until it prove you wrong. Now, about the yen pairs, the dollar yen, we are long in the service. And in my opinion, it has two chances. Either it's going to do the 5 here or like the euro yen, or it's going to do a compressed correction, trade lower later to around 80.60 and pull back. Another high here is going to complete a cycle and consequently should trade lower and give a unique opportunity to buy around these areas again, looking higher to the outside. All right. The euro yen is the same. It should make another high. This is going to break this high most likely. It should make another high and pull back. Pound Swiss, very nice. It did 3 weeks to the downside here, but it did 5 weeks to the outside of the lows. It looks like it has a 5-way, so it's a buy and see what coming after the buy. I like buying this if the 5-way stay the way it is, around 149.83. All right. Now in the biggest time frame, it hasn't confirmed mathematical wise. He dropped hard from our minimum target right here of these swings, but didn't confirm that it's going to break lower yet. So maybe either it's going to do this or it's going to do something like this and get to the next tension after all. So the whole market is the same. There is no confirmation to buy any type of risk, and either it's going to do a double zigzag, in, it's going to go over, it's going to do a double zigzag from the cycles from the beginning or the middle of June. It's going to do a double zigzag, around July 24, it's going to do a double zigzag, or we need more data to confirm that the risk on trade is on, because at this stage, to be honest, it's completely off, and there is no reason at all to buy anything. That we reach targets do not mean that you need to buy. All right. Let me go over the question here. Which level is good on the S&P to sell? Rich, I can tell you this, my friend. The count is not clear if it's going to break. Most likely should break lower. Now, if the count is the next from the top, I suspect that we ending wave 3 at the lows right here. And we should, this is 3 weeks from here. It looks like a 5, but it's not a 5. This is 3 weeks. So I would say something about these areas, 1377 if it gets there, or 1364 if it's going to do this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Then it's going to do 3, going to do 4. If it's going to follow that path, then around this area is a sell. Now, we got to wait and see. We got to wait and see which of the 2 paths he's going to follow. That's why we're showing the 2 scenarios in the side and the weekly update, right? Now, did you go over Aussie? Yeah, I cannot cover it. Still is not a buy, I can tell you that. And you got no reason to buy it yet. It can extend to the downside pretty much. It reached our target of 2 weeks. Yeah, nothing has changed, Oscar, about the euro. Nothing. The daily trend is calling still 139.80. Don't overreact to news, to nothing. Nothing has changed otherwise. Aussie is still holding the long from here, but it can extend lower to around 102.22. The way it can do it is something like this. I don't recommend buying risk yet. And please, guys, do not overreact to questions or to comments. People don't know what they're doing. 99%, 95% of them. Twitter is very bad. Don't overreact to comments in Twitter's FCN, all those things. I agree with you, Greg. I mean, that's what I say. Let me put the comment that Grace posted right here. Listen, we have no buyers. And we can be saying that the euro, mathematically, the euro has a target of 139.80. But if it change, we're going to let you guys on the spot. We have no pride, neither buyers. When we call a number, as a moment that we say that we know that it's going to be denial, we'll let you guys know about it. All right. So Aussie can be in the biggest connector yet. And it can even do this. And getting to these areas before higher. Right? That's what I say. That so far is holding discount long right here. But don't buy it. You got to keep selling the rally until we change the trend. That's as simple. You see, Greg, what I mean? That's as simple as it gets. All right? So you got to keep selling it. You got to keep selling it. All right? Any other question, guys, about any pair? I think everything is clear. Sell risk in every recovery. Every 3 ways, you got to keep selling risk. It's as simple as it gets. I mean, dollar yen, I just praying it, Bruce, that I finished 5 ways from the lows. It's finishing 5 ways from the lows. Now, I got a question about the UK and the UK index. What do you mean wave or swing? Okay, the UK, I agree with you, Greg. I think that that's the path. Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you in that one. But you know how I go. I go with cycles, Greg. And I got to go with a higher trend on the cycles. But I know what you mean. Now, the UK, but I keep saying, and I wait for confirmation. And then, you've been around for a while with us. Don't you see that it's more easy now than before? Because most of the time you are on the right side of the market. As far as you know that you need to set a pair, guys, the Elliott Wave count is only a tool to enter the market. What you need to know is the trend. And we got that system that we're going to have automatically in 2 weeks. That system, guys, that mathematical system, I don't have to do it manually anymore. That thing is heaven. Always going to have you in the right side of the market. So the UK is a sell. It hasn't reached our target. It's very close. But the idea that it's going to reach here doesn't mean that you need to buy it. You cannot buy it onto the 1 hour change. When the 1 hour change, you buy in the first pullback. But I see a lower. It can stand lower. Don't buy it. You cannot buy risk. As I have said several times, we can be in the biggest degree risk off cycle, and consequently, you cannot buy risk. All right? Any other question, guys? Thank you, Rich. Yeah, we try to be clear, Rich, because, man, we babysit a lot, and people sometimes don't get it. I mean, if I was on the other side of the question and someone told to me, say, don't buy risk, sell every 3 weeks back, that should be enough for me not to buy risk and keep selling it until prove me wrong. I don't think nothing that say that you can buy risk. Nothing. So don't buy it. Simple as that. Guys, any other questions that you guys have? About the side, we upgrade the BPS. Maybe that thing that Daoud mentioned, maybe can be down for about 30 minutes. It's for the good. Because also we're working to take away the Skype out of our service. Technically, it's not like you guys won't have your interactive room. The rooms, they're going to be there, but we won't use Skype anymore. We're going to use our own chat. In other words, we're going to use our own Skype room, but not with the Skype, because in that way we can control better the interaction. And also we got thank God we got a good clientele, but sometimes some people account expire and they still remains on the rooms until we took it away. Sometimes people downgrade the accounts and we still keep it in the room until we notice. And it's a lot of growing, thanks God, on the side, but also it's more complicated, the administration part. And we decided to take away Skype. We're working on it. There won't be no more Skype. Should happen within the next 10 days. And the way it's gonna be is that when you log in at the site, if you are a Premium Plus, you're gonna have a session that say interactive room. If you are a Premium, you won't see that session. Or in a standard, you won't see that session. So that's coming. I'll let you guys know. We're gonna have a chat room, but no in the sky. Yeah, that's where we are, Raul. We're trying to provide that the chat can be seen in every type of computer, mobile, PAX, PC, everywhere. But the thing is that we want to be more professional still, and doing the room, I think, is going to take us to another step, because Skype create too much issues that in many ways. I've never been a fan on Skype, to be honest with you guys. Never. Looks cheapy in some degrees. All right. Any other question, guys? The euro is at 127.41 today. It went down to 127.19, and it went down to 127.19 in the early market today, and then it's trading around that level. I mean, I don't know about the anti-mobile, but I'm not that good in that. What I'm trying to say is that you can see, like the same way that you see a Skype on your phone, you should be able to see that chat room in your phone. If you're able to see that, for example, I can log in myself and see Elliott Wave forecast trend report for myself if I want to. Technically now, you see when it say here, interactive room, you're going to see a chat right here. And you can post message and they're going to be all right there. We can be there, the moderator, everyone. That's what we're trying to incorporate new. No more Skype. Let's see if we can make that one happen. All right. Okay, guys. Thanks, everyone. The recording is going to be available sometimes within the next 2 hours. Thank you, guys.